Motions, motion number 1, numéro 1.
On debate, Senator Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Senators, I rise today in response to the speech from the throne and in acknowledgement of Black History Month. Although the month of February has come and gone, it is never a bad time to celebrate the accomplishments of Black Canadians and to talk about how we continue to build on this success. I'd like to thank my colleagues, Senator Bernard, Jaffer, Meji, and Ravalier for their tireless work on behalf of Afro-Canadians, including their advocacy within this chamber. Speeches from the throne are important opportunities to reflect on our country's history as we consider where we go next. Today, I wish to contribute to that reflection. Like all of us in this chamber, I am also proud of my community. As a proud Torontonian and in acknowledgement of the city that I love and the people who make the city unique, I want to focus on the history, success, and excellence of Black Canadians in my hometown. Black Canadians have a deep and vibrant history in Toronto. From their earliest arrival, they are proud and productive members of the community. In his address at the Black History Conference at the University of Toronto in 1978, sociologist Daniel G. Hill gave an address entitled Black History in Early Toronto. He spoke about the early settlers, of the 50 families of refugees who first settled in Toronto in 1837. He talked about subsequent migration from southern states that added to the colony from time to time up to 1850, when by this time almost every southern state was represented in this colony, and the majority being from Virginia. We were told by Mr. Hill that these settlers brought with them skills and experience that they had gained from previous trades. And I quote, many of them had brought sufficient means with them to purchase homes. They built churches and organized benevolent and fraternal organizations, not only secured homes of their own, but educated their children, and by loyalty to their adopted country and moral rectitude, they secured the respect and esteem of their fellow citizens. In fact, Toronto was one of the many final destinations of the Underground Railroad north of the border that existed from the mid-1830s until the 1860s. And much of what Daniel Hill described took place in this era. Black Torontonians, many of them former slaves, operated businesses such as grocery stores, boutiques, shops, pharmacies, stables, and even Toronto's first taxi company. The GTA continued to be a center for Black excellence in many areas of life and society. Many Black leaders, shining stars in the areas of law, policy, and advocacy came from this region. Mary Ann Shadd was one of these shining stars, an abolitionist, teacher, journalist, and lawyer who in 1853 became the first woman publisher in North America. She was born to free parents in the slave state of Delaware in 1823. And in the fall of 1851, she attended the first North American Convention of Colored Freemen in Toronto, was later persuaded to take a teaching position near Windsor, and opened an integrated school for Black refugees. In 1853, she began to publish the Provincial Freeman, a newspaper that promoted immigration to Canada by publishing the successes of Black persons living in freedom. Fast forward 100 years, another shining star and a great Canadian, Lincoln Alexander, the first Black MP, minister, and lieutenant governor in Canadian history. Lincoln was born in Toronto, and like many Black Torontonians and myself, was a child of Caribbean immigrants. Despite his difficult childhood, Lincoln would reach to great heights. He served in factories during World War II and then attended McMaster, where he graduated with a BA in 1949. Then attending Osgoode Hall Law in 1953. The story goes that while a student of Osgoode Hall and attending a lecture given by the dean of the school, Alexander stood and challenged the dean, who was then using derogatory terms to describe Black people. demanding in his challenge that the dean, as a leader in a position of authority, should be more thoughtful and respectful in the language he was using. Later, he went on to start his own law firm and entered politics in 1965 when he ran for the Progressive Conservative Party and lost, later winning in 1968 and serving for 12 years. Famously, during Question Period in 1971, along with John Lundrigan from Newfoundland, he allegedly provoked the then Prime Minister Trudeau in what is now remembered as the Fuddle Duddle episode. Honorable colleagues, it is hard to put into words what the feelings of being a Black person confronting racism every day is like. It is worse than simply losing opportunities. It is unpleasant and even dangerous in encounters. Racism is an attempt to degrade an individual's humanity. It puts their identity into question and seeks to take away their self-worth. It is exhausting, infuriating, and can bring the strongest person to a place of total weakness. When considering these giants of history, it is vital to remember that they were not exempt from racism. Their intelligence, charisma, wit, their determination, and eventual success was always secondary to the color of their skin. The accomplishments of Mary Ann Shadd, Lincoln Alexander, Oscar Peterson, Zenana Kande, William Peyton Hubbard, Jean Augustine, and Willie O'Ree, among many other Black Canadians, are more than simple professional successes. They fought a daily battle to preserve their dignity, to uphold their value and their worth. Although individuals and systems sought to tear them down, they stood tall. They have left a legacy. They have mentored and encouraged many to come after them and to carry the torch. And they are our heroes. Indeed, Black Torontonians have been shattering glass ceilings, and we are not done yet. Whether it is as a Superior Court Justice, a Norris Trophy winner, a leader of the Green Party, or headliner of this Super Bowl halftime show, Black Torontonians are joining with Black Canadians from Newfoundland, Preston, Montreal, BC, and all over the country to make history, and will continue to do so for generations to come. Colleagues, these individuals made a difference, but their path was marked with a deep struggle. Their legacy is an endorsement for the need for diversity and inclusion in all our institutions. Diversity and inclusion is not just about aspiring to build a better society, but it also is about learning from our past and from the countless examples where people from diverse backgrounds made our world, our Canada, a better place. Indeed, what if rather than having to fight to contribute, individuals of diverse backgrounds were welcomed and invited to contribute? What if they were given a seat at the table rather than having to wrestle for one? What if Canadian institutions truly believed in the brilliance and uniqueness that exists in Black Canadians? In fact, in all Canadians of diverse backgrounds. And what if these institutions actively sought out brilliance and uniqueness? Think of how we as a country, as a society, could move forward together. And this begins here in the Senate of Canada. Our own institution, as we reflect on where we are today, we must acknowledge that there is work to be done to move our institution towards becoming a more diverse and inclusive workplace, towards becoming a leader in Canada in this area. From the witnesses we bring to committee to those we hire as clerks or staffers, to the art we display and the Canadians we acknowledge and honor, we must pursue true inclusion of Canadians regardless of their background. This means changing systems and policies and raising the bar of expectations. It means sharpening our own knowledge about the well-being of all Canadians of diverse backgrounds, Indigenous, Asian, South Asian Blacks in our own communities and seeking to be allies with them. The theme for Black History Month last year was Sankofa, a West African symbol that calls us to move forward, guided by our past. Canada's history is full of the amazing contribution of Black Canadians as well as those of many other minority groups. Honorable colleagues, my hope is that the coming generation will not have to struggle to be a full part of our society or to give of themselves to public service, as we have had the privilege to do. For their sake and honoring diversity, we must bring about true and lasting change. Being a bystander is no longer an option, colleagues. Let us move forward together and act together. Thank you.